What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal looks like he's just waking up. How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm hurting, buddy, but I'm here, ready to go.
We are
Yeah,
here.
definitely just woke up about an hour ago, and trying to get the blood flowing, get the blood to brain, so words can come out of mouth.
Yeah, well, we do have a few little things to talk about. Nothing too big, not a huge topic or anything, but I do want to say that the MLS Backus tournament is still going on. It's now in the quarter or the knockout stages, round of 16. There were a couple games last night, so I'm still writing up every single night. Head over to noscrubsallowed.com. Check those out. I want to give a shout out to everybody that has already gone on and read those things. Last week was our biggest week in all of 2020, so that's huge. And we just want to say it's still coming out. So keep heading out there, checking it out, read the post, and hopefully LAFC comes out on top. So we'll see. But Orlando's still in it, so good on. We know we have a lot of Orlando.
Cincinnati's
listeners.
Still in it.
Orlando has won their round of 16 match, so they are moved on to the quarterfinals. So, hey, a lot of our listeners should be happy right now if they're soccer fans. But we're not going to really talk about that. Like I said, I just want to let you guys know it's still going on, so go check it out. All the other sports are back. Basketball starts this week, so I'm going to say it's back because next weekend we will have stuff to talk about. But even this weekend, we have stuff to talk about because basketball is going. We knew that Zion was gone and that his quarantine was going to be pretty low. It has to be at least 4 days, but he did everything right. He tested every day. He didn't go anywhere that wasn't approved by the NBA. So he's back in the bubble. He's serving his 4-day quarantine, and he will be back for game one. Somebody that won't be back for game one is Lou Williams from the Clippers. He went out as well. He had to go to a funeral. Shout out to him in that sense. We hope that everything's okay, that the family is recovering well. But while he was there, he went to a strip club, and there's a lot of funny storylines around this because he said he was just eating dinner. There was no performers, and some rapper guy that he was with posted a picture of him on Instagram. That's where the NBA found it. Then he took it off immediately and said that was a picture from the past because I miss Lou Williams. But Lou Williams had a mask that was given to him during the quarantine from the NBA in the picture. So obviously there's two competing stories here, so nobody even knows what to believe. But Williams will be serving a 10-day quarantine when he gets back. So what do you think about that story, man? I mean, you just have one job. Just go out, come back, play basketball.
Yeah, well, even in that sense, I feel like everywhere you go right now, have your mask on when you get in. When you get in, you can take it off. For most restaurants and stuff like that.
He had his mask.
So if he has his mask and all that stuff and he goes around other people, what's the difference of going around other people at the funeral and all that stuff?
So the NBA ranks some stuff by risk, and a strip club is a high enough risk to get a 10-day quarantine. Because even there's another –
because Zion's only doing a 4-day.
Right, but he stayed inside. He just had to deal with his family, immediate family. He wasn't in public. There was another guy who was going to go to a wedding, but the NBA told him it would be a 14-day quarantine if he goes to a wedding because apparently that's the highest risk you can have is a wedding. I don't really know. But so there's different gauges. So it's not like Lou Williams is getting punished, but where he went with a public establishment causes him to now have a 10-day quarantine. But he's mad about it because he said, I have a mask. I went in, went out, just ate dinner. You can ask any of my teammates. That's my favorite place to eat in Florida. So, but I mean, that's the rules. You go to a public place like that, you're going to serve a 10-day.
I've always heard they do have great food.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, that's his favorite place to eat. There's a lot of great places to eat down here in Florida. Great places to eat.
Yeah, and I'm not even calling him out for that. I believe that he went there to eat. I don't know if there were performers. There probably were. I feel like there's usually performers. That's how they get their money. But even if he just went to eat, that's still in the rule book. He should have checked with the NBA to see what it was going to do. But I don't think the Clippers are worried about that. They're already in the playoffs. They're already the number 2 seed. He'll be back before the playoffs start. So
don't they have Reggie Jackson now too?
I don't know. Maybe.
Didn't they pick him up? I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't know if is that a positive thing? Is that good?
I mean, I don't know how much, but that's not a big fall off. I don't feel like, in the two of them.
From Pat Bev? Or oh, you mean like so when Lou comes in, it'll be Reggie Jackson coming in? I think that's a
Yeah,
huge fall off. Lou Williams is the man. He's a walking bucket.
he's a walking bucket. Reggie Jackson's the facilitator god.
Yeah,
Not really. Reggie
you can't
Jackson's
replace a
just.
scorer with a passer and say
I
it's the
know, but I'm
same
just
thing.
trying to give Reggie Jackson credit. I'm excited to see him ball for the first time in ever.
True. Okay, well, a couple of injury things, which is kind of what we were worried about with the NBA. Anthony Davis got poked in the eye. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a huge deal, but I expect him not to play now the rest of these little warm-up games.
Oh, for
But
sure.
hopefully he comes back. I'm sure he'll be fine. Maybe he'll wear one of those weird masks. But then another guy out is Joel Embiid, and that's huge. He has a calf issue. I don't really know what it is. They just said like calf issue. But if he misses any significant time, the 76ers could actually be hurting. So what do you think about that? Do you think they could handle Embiid being out?
Yes and no. I really don't think that the Sixers really have too much to fight for. I mean, in their eyes, they feel like they can make it to the ship and win it, but I just don't see that happening. But if Embiid is out, they are, in all essence, screwed without him if he has to miss more than 2 or 3 games. And this, especially if he has to miss any of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, so you're saying it kind of on the flip side. It's not that him being out hurts them, but the only way they could win at all is if he's there.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's not necessarily hurts them because you think they're going to be out either way. I get it. All right.
Yeah, I don't see the 76ers really having too much of a fighting chance in this at all, really. I don't see
Especially
them
with the way
guys.
Giannis came right in, bro. He looks like he
Yeah,
has
and
not
they're
missed a
and
step.
they're yeah, and they're all just still on that same smooth locomotive train that they've been on. And I feel like this is more set up for like the Raptors and the Bucks, the nitty gritty teams, and I know Philly's been trying to be nitty gritty and all this stuff, but when it comes down, it's like we're already playing playoff basketball. Pretty much, they're not playing for the fans and all that stuff. They're playing to win. Like that's what
Yeah.
all these games are about. And I just don't see the Sixers being able to go against every team's best every night and just being able to get through even the first series probably.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's going to be the Bucks, the Lakers, and the Clippers, and then maybe either the Celtics or the Raptors as the last one of the four. And that's going to get really good if that's what it is. Hopefully, I'm still saying the Suns are going to make a push, man. They're going to they're going to be there. Now that Zion's back, it's the Pelicans. I still think it's the Pelicans' last playoff spot to lose because the NBA wants it. The Pelicans are actually a good team if they can get a fully healthy Zion. They have what's going to be the most improved player in Brandon Ingram. Lonzo would be probably the most improved player if Brandon Ingram wasn't there on the team. So, and then of course Drew Holiday, Zion, those guys. They're going to be a really tough out, even if they have to face the Lakers in the first round.
For sure. I'm excited for that to happen. Did you see I don't even know his first name. Sabonis from the
Domantas
Pacers?
Sabonis, yeah.
He's got a foot injury.
He
I
actually
forget
left
what
the bubble, right? Like he
yeah,
had to
he's
actually
gone.
get surgery or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's stupid. I'm not even gonna give them a shout out because their app is complete garbage. But yeah, it's something with his foot. It hits everybody different. You could be out a game. But yeah, this seems to be a bad case of whatever the crap the fancy word for it's called. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
crazy to hear. Pacers came in. They didn't look too bad.
yeah.
And then
Oladipo's there and still kind of testing his injury, but he is playing in the exhibition matches. So if he can just get through without getting hurt, then or feeling hurt from his previous injury, he should be playing.
here it
So
is. All
yeah,
right.
it's that
Well,
plantar fasciitis for Domantas Sabonis.
yeah, yeah. So he said it hits everybody different. He's just not hitting him the right way, and he's
That's
missed
tough.
a
Well,
lot of
but
time.
hopefully
Let's
if
talk
they
about
can, I don't know what they do to fix that, but
Let's give a huge shout out. It doesn't really happen a lot, it seems like, with big injuries, but Andre Roberson got his first minutes after tearing, I think it was his ACL.
how do you
Something with
do?
his knee. Yeah, I mean, that's all I saw was a clip of him checking in.
Mm.
And
I mean, he's not really their threat anyway. He just plays defense. He's a great defensive
player. He
player.
was a couple years ago. It seemed like he was getting in that role of being the sixth man and all that stuff.
Well, like I said, he's a defensive just dominator. So if they were playing a guy like Kawhi or somebody like that, he's going to be in to stop them. But they don't really need him to be the offensive threat.
Oh, yeah, no.
So.
Go there and get you couple threes. But, yeah, I'm just happy to see him back. Not a lot of people, especially in basketball. I mean, let me take that back. We've been seeing people come back from crazy-ass injuries in basketball lately.
Yeah, it seems like science is progressing, which is awesome. So,
but it's always, for me, I always love to see players be able to come back from injuries, especially knees and legs and stuff like that. Them are very serious when it comes to the NBA. So it's happy to see him back. I don't know how productive he was. Tried to find it, couldn't find it. Even here on the ESPN, on my laptop, not going to try to find it because the stream might mess up. So,
yeah, that's true. So that's pretty much the news of basketball. I don't know if anybody else. They're still just in the exhibition games, but the main games start up Wednesday, Thursday.
We got the Pelicans and the Jazz and Lakers and Clippers.
Yeah, so next weekend we will have real basketball to talk about. But we're going to move on to a league that just ended, and we have a few shout-outs to give. The English Premier League is finally done. Liverpool won a while back, but they finished on 99 points thanks to Arsenal giving them the beat. So they didn't get that record, but that's okay. They finally won, first time in like 30 years, so congrats to them. But a couple of teams did need this last week for some things. Before I let you shout out your team, I want to shout out a coworker of mine. Her name's Claire. She's from across the pond, from England, and she is a huge Aston Villa supporter. They drew today, but because they drew and Arsenal beat Watford today, they get to sneak through, stay in the Premier League. They finished 17th, and if you don't follow soccer, the bottom three, so 18, 19, and 20, have to get demoted down to the next league. So Aston Villa, barely by 1 point, gets to stay in the Premier League. So shout out to them, doing their job, getting it done. It looked pretty dicey for a little while, but so shout out to Claire. I don't think she listens. Her husband, I think, might listen. I've heard her talk about that. But shout out to Aston Villa. They are through.
Yeah, did you ever see that Netflix show about the soccer team who got delegated?
Sunderland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you started watching it, and then I spoiled it for you a little bit.
They actually got relegated down twice.
Yeah, 2 times in a row.
Yeah, but they're on their way up now. I think they're
crazy.
in the second league again, or the first league, which is actually the second league.
Could you imagine one of these great – I mean, I guess the people of Sunderland think Sunderland used to be great, but could you imagine, like, a Chelsea or Man U, Man City type team?
They have too much money. That's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. It's just because of the way soccer works, they would just go mid-season and pay $50 million to some best player for the rest of the year because you can get loans, and it's ridiculous. So they just go to like Juventus or something and say, what price do I have to pay for Ronaldo for the rest of this year? You can have him back. And they'd get him. They'd stay out of relegation, and then they'd give him back. If it got to
it's so crazy how soccer works. You can go to these different leagues and shop around and all this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like part of it. I like the buyout thing to where like Diego Rossi from LAFC is going to get sold to someone. So basically, they're going to pay us $15 million or more. It's got to be at least 15. That's what we asked for. So they just pay us, and then they take his salary as well. So they literally just give us money to take him off our hands, which is really cool. So I like that. If you really think somebody's worth it, you buy him.
So y'all own these guys pretty much, in essence. Not you own their rights to play football.
Yeah, I mean, we own we own their contract. We don't own them. We own their contract. So they don't have to play if they don't want to. They are their own person, but they can't play for anyone else because we have their contract. It's almost like a conflict of interest with a regular work. I mean, if you work at AT&T, you can't also go work at Sprint because they're rivals. So it's kind of like that. We own the rights to their contract, but it's cool that you could just put any price on it, and it doesn't have to do with any sort of salary cap because it's not their salary. It's just money that you're getting to transfer over there. So it's a little different.
Bro,
Pretty
we
cool.
should start up a football club and just find a whole bunch of good young kids and sell them.
All right. Well, you get on that. I don't know how much money that'd be. Sell their contracts. Remember, you gotta say that the right way. But we can't sell the people. No selling the people, especially not in 2020. That is very much frowned upon. But that's kind of funny. But let's take a break real quick before we talk about your team. You're just jumping at the bit, I know, but I wanted to split it up just to be a jerk to you, and I don't want to hear about them yet. So let's take a break to talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. Like we said at the beginning of this podcast, live sports are back and just kicking, man. We're watching basketball. Basketball's coming back next week, and it could be the Clippers and the Nuggets. And that's why our partners at Manscaped have partnered with us to make sure that your Nuggets are safe as possible when they have to face the Clippers. So Manscaped is here, and they're here to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience.
Absolutely, man. Right now, you can get the Lawnmower 3.0 and the Perfect Package gift. It's the best thing in the world. Comes with a little bit – I don't even have it out. Ball deodorant, the crop preserver. This is the best thing in the world. It's a pH balance thing, so it'll help out with your friend. I don't know anything about the pH balance stuff, but they do. And it's the best stuff ever, man. It's anti-chafing. I take it to work with take it to work. I wear it when I go to work all the time. Helps me out. I have to work in a hot, sweaty kitchen. So it helps me stay freshened up down there. Ooh, and I'm getting those crop wipes, bro. I am a firm believer in those crop wipes now.
I told you,
They are on the way. They are coming. And I'm very excited to use them, guys.
Yeah, they are awesome. But something that Manscaped has also just done is they've released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to that Lawnmower 3.0. It's a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools. Now it sounds like I'm reading because I am. I don't know what this thing is. I don't have it. But it comes with tweezers. It comes with rounded point scissors. It comes with fingernail clippers, medium grit file. I really am going to do that. My clipper set looks like it's from the 1950s, and I need some new ones. It doesn't cut well. It doesn't file. The file, I think, is completely dead. So I got to make sure my fingers are clean and nice and pretty. So I might be able to talk to you guys more about that a little later, but it is new. It is supposedly better. I don't know if you had the Shears 1.0, maybe that was not that good. I don't know, but check it out. It sounds cool. I will get it, and I will let you guys know how it is, but it's here. It's here to stay. All right. Seal doesn't feel like talking about anything else, but did I lose you, Seal?
I'm here. I had some weird just going on.
Oh, well, I stopped. I gave you a perfect spot to jump right back in, and you just sat there. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So anyways, like I said, the Perfect Package 3.0, it comes with that Lawnmower 3. What'd you say?
I said we're not cutting this out to send to them.
We're not cutting anything. Oh, you mean to send to them? I'll send to them. I don't care. Tell them to fucking buy us a new computer. I don't care. So anyways, it comes with the Lawnmower 3.0. It's waterproof cordless trimmer. We said all that. It comes with the Performance Boxer Briefs and a travel bag, which is awesome. If you order right now, it comes with those things. And then, like you said, Seal, it comes with the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver. So check it out. Get it right now. And then if you do go get it right now, make sure to use our code NOSCRUBS, all one word, and you get 20% off and free shipping. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code NOSCRUBS at manscaped.com. So head over there, do that, and take your grooming game to the next level. All right, Seal, if you're ready to talk now, why don't you shout out the other Premier League team that needed the final day to do something good?
Damn sure did, man. So we started off the second leg of the season all the way down in eighth.
Tell the viewers who we are. Or you're we, not me.
Manchester United. Ugh. Beautiful. Yeah. The beautiful red team that does great a lot more often. Well, not recently. But anyways, yeah. So having an ass of a campaign, come out, just needing a lot of work to be done, and we did. Got it secured. Last damn game, finishing third. So you know what that means. Secure that Champions League, baby.
Yeah, so you guys get to go lose in the Champions League, but you get a lot of money to do it, so that's really good for your club. What, you think you're a favorite to win this thing?
Oh, not at all. You don't have to be mean about it.
I'm just being realistic. I'm just calling it like it is. We get to go lose in none of the leagues. Actually, we still have to face Chelsea. It will be in the Europa League if we beat Chelsea. So we just got to beat Chelsea and make it through. If we don't, then, hey, maybe we can just focus on the stinking league next year and not finish 8th place. I think that's where we finished, 8th place.
So what do you want Christian to do? Do you want him to kill you guys, or do you want him to give you a break?
Who's Christian?
Pulisic. I got it right.
Pulisic. You were close. It's an I. You said Pulisic. There's an I after the L. But it's all right. You're the closest you've ever been. So I want him to freaking dominate. I want him to score a hat trick and then lose 4-3. So, no, I love Pulisic. Did you see that Berhalter, the U.S. team national coach, said that Pulisic is the best player on Chelsea? So that's high praise from the American national team coach.
Do you think he has to say that kind of?
Yeah, but he still said it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't cause him any harm to say it, and he can't say, oh, well, he's definitely not the best player on the team. But he is. I mean, he's up there. I don't know if he's the best player on the team, but they don't really have a great team. I don't know how they finished 4th, but he's definitely up there as one of the better players on that team. So that league is done now. We're done talking about the Premier League. The MLS, of course, is not done. We'll continue talking about them for a while. But another league that is nearing the end and that is near and dear to our heart, we talk about it every now and then, is the Australian Football League, footy. 2 really close games for our boys, man. Gold Coast ended up losing by 5. Essendon won by 3. So with that, you guys jumped up into a playoff spot. We actually dropped down out of the playoffs right now with 4 weeks to go. So we have some big wins that Gold Coast has to do. But this next week is huge. Both of us playing some tough games. You guys are facing the Brisbane Lions, the number 2 team in the entire league. And we are facing the GWS, which I don't really know what that means because I'm not Australian, but it's some city, I guess, a region or something. But the Giants, and they are tied with us. So it's a huge game in the sense that we need to win. Yours is a huge game in the sense that you're playing a really tough team. So after week 9, which is this coming up week, we're going to know a lot about where our teams sit. It's coming down to the wire. Hopefully both of our teams could make it through to the playoffs. That would be massive. We would actually have something to talk about. Gold Coast hasn't been there in a while.
Yeah, which is insane. I mean, those first 2 picks, man, hold you guys up. I feel like you'll get it a couple more wins. Everybody's kind of stuck at 4 and 5 wins for the most part.
Right.
So it's not really going to separate. I really don't know the points, like how the points work. You get wins or 4 points.
Yeah, 4 points for a win, 2 points for a tie, which has happened, and that's going to make the last spot of the rankings really tough because Collingwood and Richmond both tied 1, so they're going to have kind of that half-point difference between everybody else. So could change it up. We need a win. We need to play Adelaide again. That's what we need to do because they are terrible.
We need to remake up that game.
I'm sure you will, or at least if it's like needed. I feel like because there's another team or another couple of teams with only 7 games as well. So
yeah,
I'm
Collingwood,
sure they'll make it up,
this Brisbane.
No, it's you guys. It's Geelong, Melbourne, who you guys were supposed to face, and Fremantle. But I think Geelong and Fremantle play tonight, last night if you're listening to this on Monday. So you guys are really the only ones that need to make that up. But I don't know if they do like midweek games or if they'll just tack one on at the end of the season instead of giving you a rest week. I don't know.
If we already have 7-8 wins, will we really need it?
Right. If you're in the playoffs, then maybe they'll just be like, you know what? You're in the playoffs. We don't care.
Yeah. I mean, the Geelong team, I think that's the team that we were supposed to play. They're right on the bubble right now. I'm sitting at 8th, so they may need to play that.
Yeah, we'll see. And I don't know how Australian football works in that sense. So we're just going to have to wait it out and see what happens. They might just be like, yep, screw you guys. If you have to cancel the game, you have to cancel the game. But we'll see. That remains to be seen. But we're excited about it. Both of our teams are looking good. The
Or dude,
Suns
when
are actually.
so I didn't get home until about 1:30,
Mhm.
and got here, tried to turn this on, try to get it on the computer because it wasn't on FS1, and it was off. I was pissed. I was like, fuck. So
Well, for the first time in a couple weeks, Gold Coast plays at a reasonable time for America, or at least for West Coast America. So
yeah,
I'll be
this
able to
was
watch.
the first one. The last two were 5:30 in the morning.
Well, that's somewhat reasonable. If you're on the East Coast, that would be 2:30 out here, but it's not
No,
reasonable
not
for you
reasonable at
because you
all.
sleep. But it's very reasonable for just a
It's about when
normal
I'm trying to
American.
when I'm trying to go to sleep is about 4 in the morning. So
Well, nobody
stay until
asked you to
5:30, and
be a night owl.
but yeah, man, it's good stuff. I was freaked out. I was kind of upset that I wasn't able to pull it up in time, and we had just finished, so I had to go and find the score. And whoo, man, did we barely squeak it by? That would have been a tough one to watch for sure.
Yeah, it would have been fun. I've seen so many more closer games this year than I have in the past. When I was watching a couple years ago, I thought every game was just a blowout, and I was like, what is so exciting about this? Teams were winning by like 40 points. But now I as I get to learn more about it and understand the power rankings a little better and such like that, some of the games are really close and they're really fun to watch, and to see kind of the strategy of these teams as they get further down low, they're just punting these bombs to the other end, trying to get any sort of point, just a lucky point. It's almost like a counter attacker in soccer where they're just hoping and praying. And if it works out, they make it a close game. So it's pretty exciting to watch. I still say go check it out. You probably have to
Oh,
steal all of them and you probably have to stay up late to watch. But
it's amazing, dude. I still my mind gets blown when they're able to get the ball through everybody. Like whenever they have the wide open ones and they can just drop kick it in with nobody around.
yeah,
How they're able to still get those. I mean, those are huge mistakes, but it's still mind blowing that they can get those any facet because of just how insanely aggressive this sport is.
right.
It's incredible.
So now let's shift gears from Australian football to American football. We do have a major story to talk about, and that is the Jets got rid of Jamal Adams, and he is going to Seattle. And the package was quite a big package. And I know he's been an All-Pro back-to-back years. He's been a Rookie of the Year or All-Rookie Team or whatever they call it. I think he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year, right? A few years ago.
Mhm.
So he's great. But to get 2 first-round picks and then a third round and a fourth round pick, or a third round to a fourth round pick swap. But so essentially it's just the 2 first round picks, and it's in back-to-back years. So Seattle won't have a first round pick in the next 2 years unless they trade to get somebody else's. Is that too steep of a price, or do you think Adams is that good?
I think he's that good. I think there's a lot of players out here that are that good. It's just teams seem to be willing to give up such picks for players. It's weird. I feel like we could have got more now that I think about it for Jalen when I see this. But it's just up to the teams really that if they want to do it. And I mean, Pete Carroll's an amazing guy, so why not?
And we know that Seattle's willing to do
Pete.
things like that. And I fully understand it, because when you have a first round draft pick, right, you're hoping to get an all-pro player. That's your shot, is to get an all-pro player. So trading a first round pick for an all-pro player is a no-brainer essentially. But to trade 2, you're literally just giving up your lottery chance. You're like, you know what? If we pick in the first round, we have, let's say, a 60% chance that person turns into an all-pro. You're turning away 2 60% chances for a 100%er because he's been there. He's been there 2 years in a row. He's still young. I think it's worth it as well. I like what he brings too. He brings that Seattle, the Legion of Boom mindset back to where he's cocky, but somewhat in a good way. This last offseason, he kind of towed the edge of the cockiness meter, but I still think he's cocky in a good way. I think Jalen Ramsey is cocky in a bad way, but that's a story for a different day. So I like what Jamal Adams is doing. Did you see the tweets back and forth between him and Le'Veon Bell?
I did not see the back and forth. I just saw the immediate reaction from Le'Veon Bell, which I thought was great. It's definitely a personal for some of these guys, especially when it comes down to Le'Veon Bell in free agency, like his tweet said, like they do all this hoorah and blah blah to get you to come, and then they just dip out.
Yeah. Yeah, he
People
chose
weird,
the Jets a lot because of Jamal Adams and because he knew that they might have a chance to compete. And the back and forth wasn't really back and forth, but Jamal Adams tweeted back at him and just said, heard or understood or something, I'll see you in week 14. So there's going to be this hype, and they'll probably say a few more things before week 14 if we make it to week 14. But that sounds like an exciting matchup to see Le'Veon Bell and Jamal Adams, if they even make it, if Le'Veon Bell can get to the third level and meet up with Jamal Adams. That would be a sight to see.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. But yeah, I really hope this is a trend that starts getting these players, what it didn't go to Jamal Adams, but what they're worth is what the teams need to be can't think of the fancy word I'm trying to say here. But yeah, a lot of these guys are worth 2 first-round picks, especially if you feel like you have a good team like the Seattle does. And if they feel like you're missing that one piece, and for the next 2 years, if you can secure that and you still have the weapons on offense and on defense, you don't really need to add too many pieces through the draft. And you still have 6-7 other picks in the draft to go through. So I think it's a no-brainer if you can give up 2 first and a third for somebody like Jamal Adams, who's going to lead a defense that's already stacked.
And especially with Seattle, they have grabbed these gems down in the 4th and the 5th round of the draft. I don't even know. I can't even tell you their last first-round draft picks.
You see that?
I'm sure. I mean, like Bobby Wagner and stuff, but that was a while back. They have the guys like Shaquem Griffin that they got in, I think, the 4th round. Or Shaquille Griffin, sorry. Shaquem Griffin, who hasn't played yet, but they got him in like the 7th round, or hasn't played starting roles. So they go and they get these guys low, and they actually expect them to play. Their top picks are usually wide receivers, like your boy, the big strong guy.
DK.
So that's something. I think they're a smart team. I know Pete Carroll is a smart guy, and they'll just continue to do their thing. I don't think they're better than the 49ers this year, though. But we'll see.
That offense probably is. But do you think this will start a trend of teams getting more first-round picks and
yeah, absolutely.
packages?
I think that's how all sports continues on. Everything gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You see the contracts get bigger, the trades get bigger. We saw the same with the NBA as you end up with the Anthony Davis trade that comes out, the Chris Paul trade that comes out. So these things just continue to add on. Everybody has to one-up the other person. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, if any Jamal Adams is the best safety in the league. So if anybody, like if Harrison Smith now wants out, the Vikings are going to have to ask for a lot to get somebody like it. Not that he wants out. I'm not speculating. I was just picking another great safety. But if somebody like that wants to come out, now you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. And that's just how the sport works. It continues to one up.
Yeah, I like it. It's especially with people on Jamal Adams' tier. There's no reason not to be giving out what he's equal to.
Right. And it's a risk, like I said before, to not do it and to try to draft a safety. That's a risk. You might get a Pro Bowler, but you might not. And in this situation, you're definitely getting a Pro Bowler. So I do want to – it's the Giants and it's the kicker, so nobody really cares. But I want to shout out a scrub that is not allowed on the podcast, but we do want to talk about it and just laugh at their misfortune. But the Giants ended up releasing their Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrick Rosas, because he had these 3 misdemeanor charges. He was in a hit and run. It's so crazy. So he had his license revoked. It was a DUI, I think, which is probably why you hit and run. But that's so crazy, man. He's now cut. His kicking days could be over.
His license was already suspended at this point.
Oh, okay. All right. So, so it's just dumb. Get a driver. You're making millions of dollars. Just get a driver. If you want to drink or do drugs or whatever it is you're doing, just sit in the back seat. Get a driver.
He's a kicker. He's probably making millions of dollars.
That's more million than I'm making.
Who you telling, bro?
So just get a driver. Like, let them do it. You can sit back there and drink all day long. But I don't know. I mean, he was out in the middle of the boonies, I believe. So maybe he was just having a fun time. We've all done it. I haven't done it with a suspended license because I've never had my license suspended, and I don't drink and drive. But I do go fun driving. I've never hit anything. But every now and then when you get in the back roads of the country, you want to go a little faster. You want to go a little sharp around a turn, things like that. But then when you add the alcohol and the suspended license, it's a problem.
It's a highway. All right.
He's a 25-year-old kid, man, just making stupid decisions. So that's definitely a scrub thing. You don't want to do that.
That's why I don't understand. But then you go to the NBA and you have these players like Zion and RJ and Tyler Hero who just seem to have so much maturity, and seem to be able to elevate themselves with the 30-year-old cats in the NBA and carry that same respect for the Jerry Rice logo.
Yeah, it's so weird because just to mirror that, I agree. I haven't really thought about it, but the NFL, maybe it's because there's so many players, they're able to be more anonymous. I mean, everybody knows who Zion is. Zion can't get away with anything. Aldrick Rosas, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup if you gave me two choices. So I don't know who these people are. They wear helmets. They do their things. So they have that bit of anonymity that they can do a little more than guys in the NBA could do.
Yeah.
Maybe they have better agents. Maybe they have something. I don't know, but
it just seems crazy. I mean, I feel like you have more money for one in the NBA to get in trouble with, and I don't know, just hearing all the stories you hear from the 90s and early thousands of NBA players like that. One guy who played for the Celtics and grew up not too far from there in Staten Island or something. So he kind of knew people in the area, and he was out there getting drugs right before games.
Right.
And you never hear about stuff like that nowadays. It seems like these guys are just so honored and privileged to be there, and you don't really have all the outside hoopla. I mean, you do get into the whole power team and all that stuff and everybody wanting to buddy up and win championships, but you don't really have too much of that outside noise going on like you do in the NFL.
I still think it's numbers related. I mean, if you have, I don't know how many people are in the NBA, but 30 teams of 15 people, so not that many people. But then football has 5 times that amount of people, so it's really probably 4 times that amount of people. So just the law of numbers. If you have 1% of both leagues doing it, that's just more people in the NBA or in the NFL doing it than in the NBA. So.
Yeah, probably. You just feel like, there's only 11 other guys around. What can I really do? How can I get away with this?
Exactly. So
I get it.
That's probably part of it, but something's got to give. We see stories like this every single day of just either abuse, like physical abuse, drug, alcohol abuse, stupid driving, being in a place they shouldn't be in, even parts of their group that they hang out with. I mean, they can get in trouble because their group was doing something stupid. So just gotta be smart with it and not do anything super crazy, but it's tough. It's really tough. These guys hit people for a living. They're gonna be heightened. They're gonna be elevated. So, all right. What else do we got to talk about, Sealed? We've covered a lot of sports here. Do you know of anything else you want to mention?
Baseball seems like it's going to be able to go on. I mean, we'll see how it goes after they travel to the next place, but I haven't really heard of any issues or any big waves coming through any teams or visiting teams or anything. So that seems like that's going to be able to go on for how long. We'll see.
We'll see when they start traveling, like you said, because the Dodgers, while at home for this thing, they go to Houston tomorrow. So to fly out to Houston, I mean, I know they fly charter. They don't have to deal with the public. But we'll see how the travel goes, how the teams are. I'm sure the Dodgers they will spare no expense. I'm sure they'll try to take care of their people. But some of these low-market teams, let's say Pittsburgh has to fly somewhere, who knows what they're going to give their people, what sort of security they're going to give outside of just the bare minimum. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think when traveling starts, that's when we'll know.
you have the Pirates owner sitting there with his old shirts, making just mask out of his old shirts.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
give
He'll
to
be
the
like, "See, you
players.
guys have masks now." So we'll see. We'll see. But I think there will be bouts, and that's when we're going to really see what happens when people start, or when a lot of people start to get positive. Or
So
you have a Freddie Freeman situation where the positive is bad. Like if it's the asymptomatic positive, you're just quarantined, you're waiting for it to be done. But if it's one of those bad positives, it's really scary.
yeah, best case scenario, you do just get the 1, 2 positives, and you're able to quarantine them.
Right.
I feel like there are going to be a couple teams that are going to have to miss a game or two,
The
just
full
because.
teams.
Yeah, they're just because I don't see. I mean, I guess all these players. I'm watching the Nationals game right now, and it looks like everybody's wearing masks in the dugout. So, okay. But even when you're in the batter's box, you got the catcher right there, and the ump's right behind him. It looks like the ump has a mask on as well. So, I don't know, man. It looks like we're in day 4 now.
Right.
Nothing big going on. NFL players reporting to camp. No news really to report. That seems to be going on very quietly.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's there, right? Because so the Chiefs and the Texans arrived early, but I think today or Friday was everybody, right? Or something like that.
I know our rookies showed up last week. I'm not sure about everybody else.
Okay. I know it's coming soon because I know the Chiefs and the Texans have already fully came because they're the opener on the Thursday night. So they're already in their camps ready to go. So it's getting there. We'll see what happens. I know that every team is telling people to stay home that have had any sort of symptoms. So one thing I did want to bring up that I wanted to shout out, I think it was the Nationals. The Braves. They had 2 catchers, both of their catchers, the starting catcher and the backup catcher, tested negative for coronavirus but had flu-like symptoms, and they told them to stay home. They didn't even let them fly to the New York because they were facing the Mets.
Oh, wow.
So even though they tested negative, the Braves themselves said, you know what, we're not going to risk it. We'll play this one without you. When we come back home, we'll see how you're feeling. So some of the teams are really taking these measures to make sure that things are all good. So
yeah, that's awesome. And that's what we need to have happen. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have wins, you're going to have losses, but that doesn't need to be what the big picture is all about.
We'll see if it stays that way near the end, though, if a team needs a win to make the playoffs. So
yeah, I'm sure right now in the first couple games, it's not so drastic to not have either of your catchers. But yeah, man, do you want to talk about how we went from potentially not even seeing Mookie Betts in LA to potentially never seeing Mookie Betts out of LA?
Man, I'm excited about it. I'm never excited for double-digit year contracts, though, because in 12 years, well, really in 14 years, if you count the 2 that he already has, is he going to be the same player? No. He might still be good. He might still be an all-star if he's just absolutely amazing, but he's not going to be what he is today that we're signing. It's nearly impossible. I don't even like the Trout contract, and I think Trout is the best player of all time. So those long contracts are rough, but he deserved it as far as if you're going to give a long contract out. He's somebody that the last couple of years has battled Mike Trout for the best player in baseball. So, but his is more sudden. It came along. He wasn't expected to be that guy necessarily. Now he is. We'll see how long that window is, but I doubt it's going to be a 14-year window. But if we win a couple rings, it's worth it. That's all that matters, Even if they're front-loaded, if we win 3 rings in a row right now and never win another ring for 11 years, it was still worth it because that's what you're signing him for, is to keep him around and try to win rings. So
for sure, man. I mean, I love Mookie Betts. I chose him as the jersey that I got, even though he wasn't on the team anymore, just because he is an amazing player and a great guy. And like you said, he did deserve it. We offered him a very damn similar package 2-3 years ago, but it wasn't enough for some reason. I think y'all gave him, 20-30 million more, but what is that over freaking 10 years? So it kind of stinks, but I'm excited for him. I'm happy for Mookie Betts as a person.
And he looks good in Dodger blue, man. not on the field right now. He actually went 0 for 5 yesterday, but he just looks clean. I just think it's the jerseys, some of the best jerseys in the league. Red Sox have some of the best jerseys in the league too, but the Dodgers one is
I love this gold. I'm watching this. I really do like that they have the all gold names and numbers on the back of the Nationals, but I'm kind of cool. Red Sox aren't really flashy too much. They've stayed the same. They're kind of old true to themselves. So I kind of like how they just did the gold trim on everything and kept it clean, man.
Hopefully we'll get to see what the Dodgers do, because just like you guys, or the Yankees even. So everybody says it's going to be a Dodgers-Yankees championship. If one of those two teams win, both of them are rooted in history, and their jerseys have not changed in a lot of years. So we'll kind of see what those dumb gray jerseys that the Yankees wear, what will that look like with gold? That'd look terrible. So
they would definitely, if they didn't pull out the pinstripes for that jersey,
true,
they would be doing such a huge disfavor to their fans.
Yeah.
But so we're not going to see the Red Sox in anything this year because they're complete ass, and we're going to lose to the Orioles for the second straight game by way too many.
And you guys are at home, right? You guys are at Fenway?
Yeah.
That's rough.
A lot of balls going off the Green Monster so far, bro.
Didn't you guys put like a Black Lives Matter thing like on the Green Monster or above the Green Monster or something like that?
It's on the back of the stadium facing the Boston Pike.
Oh, okay.
It looks clean, dude. I love it.
I haven't seen it. I just heard that it was like over there by the
It looks
stadium.
Good. It looks
so
good.
We're going to head out of here, but I did want to give a shout out to Eduardo Rodriguez, your guy, your pitcher,
yes.
Red Sox pitcher. He had coronavirus earlier. He's fine. Supposedly he came back to the team. He was doing great. But now additional testing says that they have an issue with his heart. They think it's from the coronavirus, so that's super scary. He's only 27 years old. He, like I said, he was cleared. He made it through coronavirus like a lot of the 27-year-olds that are getting it totally fine. But now as he's gone back, he has this myocarditis, I think is what it's called. So it's very scary. They shut him down. So it's serious enough that they really need to do these tests. And so shout out to him. I hope he comes back healthy. I honestly, not to knock at him, but I hope it's a different thing than coronavirus, because if the coronavirus is now giving you the potential for heart problems as well, this is a scary thing, man. But hopefully, like I said, he's 27 years old. Hopefully he comes back, and hopefully he comes back with the ability to play, not just his life. Obviously his life is the most important, but hopefully he's able to get that heart muscle up to where he can actually play. But I wanted to shout out to him as we go out of here. So good luck, Eduardo Rodriguez. Yeah, go for it.
I also want to do a shout out. When this comes out, it will be baby girl's birthday, turning 27. Love you with all my heart. So happy I have you in my life.
That's that girl that sang on Dr. Phil, right?
No, my
Bad Baby, like that was her name, right?
Hey, was you on Dr. Phil? I hope that's not her.
Wasn't it Dr. Phil that?
Yeah, it was like Bad Barbie
or whatever.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something.
That's
but
funny.
My baby girl, I love you. Happy birthday, and I hope it's everything you ever wanted.
I hope so too. Is she have the day off?
No, we'll be at work together at 5. But yeah, stay on the grind.
Stay on the grind. Be like producer Seal. Stay on the grind. Get that money. Cash them checks. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.